Well, thanks a lot for coming along for this little short interview.
No problem.
Couple of questions first. You work, you've got a family, you're involved in a successful football club.
Mm-hmm.
How on earth do you find the time to fit it all in?
Sure. I'll have to let my wife answer that one, to be fair. I'm lucky because, mainly the wife really, because she's a football girl, and she always has been since I met her. So it's helped me out immensely.
Yeah.
Works very, very good to me as well with if I need the time. Very rarely does it sort of hinder work.
Yeah.
So
right.
and sort of weekends are normally free. I can work round what I do shift wise.
Yeah.
But family wise, my stepson plays a lot of football. In the past, my daughter played a lot of football. My youngest, so it's all been football all weekend for a long time now. So
Cool.
you kind of get used to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully next year get promoted. A few more people coming along to the games. How are you going to get around and say hello to every single?
I've done somehow. I'll have to do.
You're doing it well so far.
I'll have to probably do maybe a corner at a time or something like that. But yeah, we're getting around 300 people at the moment. It's all right.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that part of it.
I think the fans really appreciate. Well, I know the fans really appreciate it.
That does please me.
They do. They really appreciate it. Yeah.
It's something that when we started to get large numbers, is something I've always done anyway. Even as a player, I was like that.
Yeah.
But
it's just.
I mean, seeing the fans there and the numbers we're getting, you can't. You've got to say.
Just brings everybody together, doesn't it?
And the atmosphere is fantastic.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And lovely people.
Okay, so you know these sort of boring questions you get at interviews. Where do you think you'll be in a year's time? I'm going to ask that question. Where do you think this club might be in a year's time?
Where I'd like the club to be. Where I'd like the club to be is in the league above.
Yep.
Whatever that league sets up as. I know there's a lot of talk at the moment how the leagues are going to set up. The FA put some propositions in, but you know, from the club's point of view, it needs to be. I mean, going back to what we were saying there, the amount of fans that we're bringing into the ground and so forth. And also, you know, we've got good football inside as well. And I think, you know, if we can keep as many of the squad together as we can, we could do some damage in the league above as well. But the club, you know, the club's a big club. You've had the Sudburys go, the Needhams, the Leystons, all the big clubs, Bury Town. They've all made that move, and really, Felixstowe should be a club that does that, especially with the catchment area we've got of people. Yep. And now we're starting to see that. Although I think we can thank Ipswich Town for that a little bit.
Okay, you've played a lot of football. You were a player manager, you're now a joint manager. What for you is the most frustrating thing when you're standing on the side of the pitch and you're watching a game being played? What assuming you find some of it frustrating, I'm sure you do.
From my point of view, I think one of the things I find most frustrating is that having been a player and being a captain on most sides I've played in, not being out there, not being able to sort of influence. And you know, at the end of the day, I wasn't the greatest footballer in the world, but I had heart, and you know, I was a good defender, and I was a talker. So for me, not being able to do that's probably the most frustrating thing. But then having seen the players, you know, and the quality of the players that we have now, you know, it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. We stood on the sideline and actually, you know, watch the players play, because there's some quality players I've seen since I've been at the club for the last 2.5 years. Yeah. So for me, it's probably a frustrating thing. I don't think we have an issue with players not listening to us. I don't think that's a problem.
Right.
When things aren't going well, when you're trying to communicate to them, and sometimes it's easier when you're on the pitch to communicate and get across what you want them to know.
Sure.
And I think that's probably the most frustrating thing, is not being able to do that now.
Yeah.
Because you're stuck in a little square by the dugout in a technical area. And it's hard to tell someone playing over the far right hand side what you expect of them. You know?
What I find interesting is very often our dugout looks a lot more heavily populated than other teams' dugouts.
I think
and you've got a decent sized squad of players. Yeah. Does that pose any problems sometimes of kind of rotating players around?
We've been really lucky. Well, it's not lucky because we've had a lot of, you know, I say lucky. From a squad point of view, size-wise, the injuries we've needed the squad this season and the quality of the squad, because I think if we didn't have that, which we fell foul to last couple of seasons, if we hadn't had that this season, then we wouldn't be in the position we are.
Right.
So, you know, it's unfortunate players get injuries and stuff like that, but we've had quality that's been able to come into the side and take their opportunity and do well for us when they've come in.
Yeah.
So, and for the size of the dugout and the amount of people, I think I quite like it because we've had a few people complain, like officials, that we've got too many, so we have to get them to stand behind the barriers. And most have been pretty good actually, because they're not very vocal on the side, like not all of them.
No.
But I think it's just togetherness and to have the backroom staff we've got now. I mean, we had obviously Andy came in just before me. Andy became the coach. He's been superb, and then obviously bringing in the likes of Craig, he came in as a kit man, who's a fan.
Yeah.
Just liked to get more involved and was came up watching training. Kevin and I sat down and I did, and he's been absolutely fantastic for us.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a difference to turn up on a Saturday and everything's there and done for you. And I don't think, you know, I know the players appreciate that side of it. And then with Stu Stevenson, who's an under 18 coach, he stepped up to get him. I asked him to come and get more involved with the first team. He's made a difference. He's a character with the players. He's learned his trade as a coach as well, and he's been phenomenal. And then obviously you add to that, like to Sam the physio, and you know it's nice to have that size of amount of people to come and help do the things and do the jobs that, you know, potentially back in the day Kev probably had to do a lot of that himself.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
so it's good.
Great. It's kind of a more personal level. What do you prefer, home games or away games?
Home definitely.
Definitely.
Absolutely, no
home.
question. Yeah, I mean, when you think what the club's been used to over the years, and even when I was playing, you know, there was never the crowds that we're getting at the moment. And I've said it before, it's just you know, you stand in that dugout for me. It's just that's one of my most pleasing things, is to stand there and look around the ground and see. And we always have a little guess at how many we've got in at the moment because there's so many coming in. So it's got to be home games and seeing all the people. I mean, the clubhouse has made it as well. Don't get me wrong. Sure. It's not all about what we're putting and what we're doing on the pitch. It's the clubhouse being right next to the pitch, and you know that is an important part of it. But just the fact that, you know, we've got that by the pitch and people come down and enjoy themselves, and there's a lot of people there I know as well. So. And they're supporting. Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's a big game coming up this weekend, Coggeshall. Prediction?
I'd love to say 3 points Felix though, wouldn't I, at the end of the day. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a bit of a stutter. We had a bad patch run of a couple of games. We had a bad patch over Christmas, which has kind of opened the door a little bit to them. And they've been scoring goals for fun, winning games, and they've been on a good run themselves. And started, you know, apart from the games in hand, they've started to knock a few points off. I mean, it was an important result for the club that we got on Saturday at Newmarket, the 2-0, for them to then draw 0-0 was, you know, that made a big difference to us. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 6-pointer on Saturday, and you know, it could turn out both sides scoring goals this season, so it could be a shootout in the end, you know.
Yeah. Because their defence is looking good as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think 3 games on the bounce now, haven't conceded.
They've brought, I think they've brought a few in. We've had a little look at what they've got coming. They've got some quality they've brought in. Know a couple of them. And that's made them a lot more solid. But again, you know, for the last 2.5 seasons, we've had a fantastic defensive record at Felixstowe. One of the best in the country last season. I think it was the season before. And when we went through our bad patch, we sort of had a little bit of a wobble, but you know, we worked hard. The boys, as you can see, they're at training tonight. They're working hard. We've got them in twice a week, which we weren't doing. Didn't need to at the time, but they're now putting the effort in, and that's shown its benefits. And we look a lot more solid now. Yeah, they changed things slightly around a little bit, but we look very solid now.
Cool. Okay, moving on to something completely different. Chocolate or beer? Which comes first?
Beer.
Definitely no hesitation.
No hesitation,
no, okay.
beer. And my friends would be disappointed if they didn't say that.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Can you tell me exactly what the words are to meat pie sausage roll?
Tough one. I hear it all the time, don't I? Funny enough, one of the fans pulled at it on the bus on the way up on Saturday. It's meat pie sausage roll. Come on, Felix, so give us a goal. I can't remember the last bit. Oh, there's an ooh at the end.
Yeah,
that's the final bit.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It does make it does. I do chuckle when I hear that on the sideline because the little group that started it, they've had some good songs, and now it's kind of developed, and there's more and more actually getting involved in it.
Yeah,
so,
good.
It's good.
It brings a smile to people.
It does. It does us on the sidelines as well. So.
Yeah. Okay, of the players and coaches, who's the best dresser?
Management, right? Management-wise, I probably have to give it to Andy now because I'm getting old. I think I'm still in there. Yeah, I think I'm still in there.
Yeah? Good man.
Even at my age, I still try and dress quite nicely.
Okay.
Player-wise?
Player-wise, yeah.
This is fun. Best and worst. Whoa. Think about that one. Let's go with... probably say Ethan Clark, being all if I didn't say him.
As
Best dresser.
yeah.
With a close Callum Bennett.
Okay.
And then probably, I like Scott Chaplin. He's got good dress sense as well.
Okay.
Worst.
Are you going to dare say worst?
Yeah, of course I will. Let's go worst. Let's go worst. Some of the clothes he's worn before. I don't know, actually. Yeah, let's go Dan Davis.
Dan Davis.
Just for the giggle factor, to hear what he says after this.
Fair enough. Okay, and final question. Did you know that there is actually help out there for people who support Arsenal?
No.
Did you know that?
You promised you weren't going to bring this up. Huh? I know that now. I see enough of it in social media.
Yeah.
But we need help at the moment. After watching the cup final on Sunday, words cannot even describe. I don't even know I bother carrying on watching the game, really. I think Gary Neville did annoy me in his commentary. But he wasn't far off the mark. But I just don't like Gary Neville, so it's quite difficult. Really. He's a Man United player. But there's got to be changes at the football club, definitely. But, the weirdest thing is, when something like that's happening, and the way things are going with our football club, it's second nature to me to even consider what's going on with the Arsenal. Because there's so much we're putting into this at the moment, and moving this club on, that it comes second to what we're doing. I think the thing is, which we've lacked a little bit of, there's always been a good group of people that come and watch Felixstowe, and through the generations, but they've all been smaller groups and stuff like that. Yeah. But we're actually getting a really good group of people that are coming down to enjoy themselves as well, and to enjoy, and part and parcel has to be the football as well. Enjoy the football. I mean, we do get a lot of compliments, but for me, the biggest thing for me is, even when we were going through our bad patch, there wasn't one person who had a negative to say. I mean,
yeah. But I guess the combination of success and fun, put the two together.
Can't beat it.
Can't beat it.
No, you can't. I didn't expect. I had an expectation. I always thought, coming back to the club, certainly a management role, having been and learned my trade in the lower league, was that it was always this is always something I dreamed of, and then to actually see it coming together and coming close a couple of seasons, having a fantastic run in the FA Cup last year, which was amazing, which the club had never done before, and then doing things that's never happened in the club's history, and to be where we are now, and to put all those points on the board up to Christmas was amazing. Yeah. And to have the opening 12 games, winning every game for the first 12 games in the league was just phenomenal. Yeah. And we've worked hard on the players we've brought into the squad, and they had to be the right players. And I think we've got a good bond in that change room, and a good group of players that get on well, but they are quality players as well. So to actually see that coming to fruition for me is just like it's just the best feeling. I've always said, doing this job, I actually, hand on heart, would say I've enjoyed being a manager more than I did a player.
Right.
Really have done, and it's brought me some some
hopefully
good
even
times.
more when we get promoted.
Even so, I think the one thing I don't think people need to realise, I don't think the players do. Some of them are quite young, but I don't think they realise what would actually happen at the club and the celebrations that would take place if Felixstowe were to actually, one, get promoted, and two, be lovely to win that league, because you'll never see anything like it down there. Trust me.
That'd be brilliant. Ian, thanks so much for your time.
No problem.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Good man.
Thank you.
Cheers.